Hey everybody, Dr. Diamond here, founder of Femme Meets Fortune, and in this video I want to talk about self-shaming and the impact that self-shaming has on our business. So self-shaming may come up because maybe you are overwhelmed, maybe you lashed out at somebody, maybe you feel certain days that you are just spinning your wheels and you can't get anywhere. Maybe you feel envious of somebody else and their success. Maybe you feel distraught and feel like you will never get anywhere with your business or you won't ever scale. And what happens with self-shaming is self-shaming occurs when we are trying to do our work in the world. When something happens, we get overwhelmed, we get angry, we get envious, we get jealous, we get greedy, we get whatever it is. And rather than allowing ourselves to actually realize that these types of emotions are normal human emotions, what can happen is we can shame ourselves and basically hide these emotions from the world. One of the ways this affects business is because the more we are shaming ourselves, the more we are living in this world where we are not acknowledging the fact that we are overwhelmed, acknowledging the fact that maybe we just screwed up and we got angry at somebody we shouldn't have, and we want to forgive ourselves. We want to forgive that, or ask for forgiveness from that person. The more we don't do those things, the more that type of energy actually stores inside of us and actually impacts our psyche and our health. So one of the things one of my dance teachers says is one woman's story is every woman's story. And this is a really important concept because it's kind of humanizes our emotions, right? So we want to take personal responsibility for our emotions. We want to take personal responsibility for our overwhelm, our anger, our failures, all these different things. But we also want to do it in a way where we're very careful not to self-shame. So we want to make sure that, okay, well, if we're angry, there's probably a reason why we're angry. Usually anger comes from an injustice in the world or injustice to ourselves, and we feel angry about it. Just like overwhelm usually comes from taking on more than we can handle and we're at our growth edge, and maybe we're not good at asking for help yet. So one of the things to really start working with some of these internal things is to actually allow yourselves to feel these things. So if you feel overwhelmed, rather than saying something like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't feel overwhelmed, or I shouldn't have reacted that way, or I shouldn't have done that, actually having compassion for ourselves and actually allowing yourselves to feel those emotions and then to find a healthy way of expressing them. Because when it comes to business, when it comes to mindset around business, what works really, really well is to be present in the fullness of who you are. And when you're present in the fullness of who you are, that's going to come out in the way you interact with people, in the way you do any sort of calls, in the way you promote your product, in the way you market, all of that. So we want to make sure that we're really working towards feeling our emotions, allowing them to express in healthy ways through dance, through movement. One of the ways that I've seen when I'm feeling certain emotions that is the healthiest way to express them is through movement. As women, emotions tend to be held in our body. If they're not expressed, they tend to be held somewhere. Not only can that lead to certain health conditions, to depression, to anxiety, to digestive problems, to sleep problems, to pain and more, it can also impact our joy and our pleasure. So what can happen if we can actually begin to stop shaming ourselves and to allow for emotions to come up? And part of how we stop shaming ourselves is by realizing that one woman's story is every woman's story. This allows us to have compassion for ourselves. This allows us to have compassion for others. And this allows the energy that we're feeling to move more easily through our body. So when it comes to our life, when it comes to our work, when it comes to our joy, our hobbies, our friends, our family, when we can actually be honest with ourselves around like, yeah, I'm real angry. That was really, really a bad thing that happened. Or yeah, I'm really overwhelmed. Or yeah, I'm really envious of that person. When we can actually stop shaming these things and saying that they are sins and they are bad and they are wrong, and instead realize that they are a part of the full potential of the human experience, we can actually be set free. And when we're set free, we can have more of our energy available to do the work we love. Again, I'm Dr. Diamond. Subscribe to this channel if you like what you see, and I'll see you next time.